In 2005, a food scientist tasted fresh olive oil and felt his throat burn like medicine. He wasn't wrong about that burn. It works on the exact same pathway as ibuprofen. Today, I'm showing you what 1 tablespoon of the right oil does inside your body. Not as a myth, not as a trend, but as a measurable shift in your chemistry. And by the end of this video, you'll know the one mistake that ruins it completely. Let's start with something almost nobody has ever really explained to you about belly fat. It isn't a discipline problem. It isn't a willpower problem. It's simply a signaling problem. Your body holds on to that fat because it keeps reading danger signals all day long. High insulin, constant inflammation, and blood sugar constantly crashing and spiking over and over again. Your body hears all of that noise and decides survival means locking the fat in. Olive oil doesn't torch that fat directly, so let's be completely honest about that up front. What it actually does is change the signal your body is reading every single morning. And once that signal changes, your body finally does what it was designed to do. Here's the loop most people never notice is quietly running inside their own body daily. Inflamed fat cells stop responding to insulin properly, so your pancreas just pumps out more. Picture a smoke alarm that goes off constantly until everyone in the house ignores it. That's exactly what chronic insulin spikes do. Your cells simply stop listening to the alarm, and insulin happens to be the exact hormone that tells fat cells to lock up. So now inflammation is feeding insulin resistance, and insulin resistance is feeding stored belly fat. This is why some people barely eat anything and still can't move the scale at all. They're not really losing a fight against calories, they're losing a fight against a fire. And one compound found in real olive oil walks straight into that fire and works. Here's exactly what happens inside your body during the very first morning you try this. Picture your body at 5 a.m., quiet, insulin low, no food competing for attention yet. You take 1 full tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil on a completely empty stomach. First, your liver and gallbladder wake up and release stored bile to help digest fat. Most people's bile flow is sluggish, so this alone is already an important wake-up call. Then, the polyphenols hit your bloodstream fast, the compounds behind that sharp, familiar, peppery sting. That sting isn't a flaw in the oil. That sting is actually the medicine working. Remember that scientist from 2005, the one who felt his throat burn in Sicily, Italy? He brought that oil back to his lab and published his findings in the journal Nature. The compound was called oleocanthal, and it blocks the very same COX-1 and COX-2 enzymes. Those are the exact same enzymes that ibuprofen blocks whenever you take it for pain. Researchers even estimated a daily serving works like a low dose of that same medication, but without the side effects that ibuprofen can have on your liver and stomach lining. So on day 1, your body quietly starts turning down that inflammatory fire we discussed. You probably won't feel much of this yet, and that's completely normal at this early stage. The real shift most people notice usually shows up around day 4, 5, or 6. That's when messages start rolling in from people doing this protocol alongside me right now. I'm less bloated. I made it to lunch without starving. My afternoon cravings just disappeared. Here's the actual science behind that shift, and it all starts inside your small intestine. Oleic acid from the oil gets converted into a compound your gut produces called OEA. OEA travels straight up your vagus nerve and delivers one clear message to your brain. We're full. You can stop eating now. There's no need to keep searching for more food. In one study, 15 people ate meals with sunflower oil, high oleic sunflower oil, or olive oil. The olive oil group produced significantly more OEA than either of the other two groups, and over the next 24 hours, that same group naturally went on to eat less food, not because they were forcing themselves, but because their gut sent a real fullness signal. That's the actual difference between someone who snacks constantly and someone who simply doesn't need to. It was never really about willpower. It has always been about what signal gets sent. By the end of week 1, you'll likely notice less bloating and much steadier energy. Cravings that used to hit hard in the afternoon start losing their grip on you. But here's exactly where most people quietly destroy all of this progress without realizing it. Most bottles labeled extra virgin olive oil aren't actually fresh. Some barely qualify as real. This industry has one of the worst fraud problems of any food category on the planet. Clear bottles sitting under bright store lights are often already oxidized before you even buy them. Some are pressed from olives harvested over a year ago, polyphenols long gone by then. Others get quietly blended with cheap seed oil while the label still says extra virgin. If your oil doesn't sting the back of your throat at all, there's a real problem. That peppery bite is oleocanthal doing its job, and no sting usually means no real benefit. Mistake number 2 has nothing to do with the oil itself. It's entirely about timing. People take their tablespoon, feel great about it, then wash it down with sugary coffee. That sugar spikes insulin immediately, and the moment insulin rises, fat-burning signals shut off. The oil sent one clear message, and breakfast just screamed right over the top of it. So the rule is simple. Take it on a truly empty stomach, then give it room. No sugar, no heavy carbs chasing right behind it for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Now, let's talk about what actually changes once you clear those first 2 mistakes completely. Days 8 through 14 are where this stops being about feeling and starts being metabolic. By week 2, those daily anti-inflammatory signals are finally catching up with your fat cells. Calmer fat cells start responding to insulin again, meaning your body needs far less of it. Less insulin means the doors on your fat cells finally stay unlocked for much longer. There's real human data here, too, from a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial. Women carrying excess body fat added extra virgin olive oil daily into their routine consistently. Double-blind means nobody involved knew what they were getting, the gold standard in research. The result was improved body composition and lower blood pressure compared to the control group. It wasn't a miracle. It was simply food doing real, measurable work inside the body. While that's happening, a few habits stack right on top and multiply what the oil is doing. Get 10 minutes of morning sunlight in your eyes before you even look at a screen. Take a short walk after the oil settles. Even 5 minutes makes a real difference. When you break your fast, aim for at least 30 grams of protein at that meal. Drink water early and often. Hydration plays a bigger role in this than most people realize. And if you want to push results even further, delay that first meal by an hour. If you normally eat at 7, try 8. Every extra minute compounds these benefits slightly. Olive oil isn't really the hero of this story. This whole morning routine is the hero. The oil just opens the door and gets the entire process started for your body. So how do you actually know if the bottle sitting in your kitchen is any good? Heat destroys polyphenols, light destroys them too, and time slowly drains them away as well. An oil pressed from a harvest over a year old is already running on empty. Go grab your own bottle right now and taste a full teaspoon of it plain. Notice your tongue. Notice the back of your throat. Is there any real sting at all? If it goes down smooth with zero bite, those key compounds are likely already missing. That's exactly why I stopped buying random bottles from the grocery store years ago now. I use oil from the Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club because the polyphenol testing is public. Every bottle is cold-pressed within hours and shows the exact harvest date printed right on it. Mine says Spanish Harvest, late 2025, meaning the compounds inside are still active. Right now they're offering my community 2 bottles and a third one completely free of charge. The link sits in the description, or scan the QR code on your screen right now. These come from small seasonal harvests, so once a batch sells out, it's gone until the next. Everything also comes backed by a full money-back guarantee, so there's no risk on your end. Now, let's fast forward through weeks 2, 3, and 4 of this same exact protocol. This is when the visible changes actually start showing up for the people around you. The bloating keeps dropping, puffiness in your face softens, your clothes fit differently around the middle. The constant afternoon snacking that used to quietly run your whole day just disappears altogether. People around you start asking what you've been doing because the change is genuinely noticeable. But by day 30, the biggest change isn't even what you can see in the mirror. It's lower inflammation, better insulin signaling, and a metabolism flexible enough to burn stored fat. Before you go, I want to tell you about something I built outside of YouTube. It's called The Benazati Show, and it's where I take you past information into real action. Every Monday is Metabolic Monday, where I sit down with leading researchers and health experts. Every Tuesday is Transformation Tuesday, covering the mindset and habits that make change actually stick. And every Friday is Freedom Friday, real conversations about building freedom across every part of life. Knowing what to do was never really the hard part. Becoming someone who does it is. You'll only find these episodes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Link sitting in the description. Here's the one thing I want you to remember as you walk away from this video. Your body was never broken. It has simply been listening to every signal you send it. Every meal, every morning, every choice sends a message, and you get to change that message. 1 tablespoon, empty stomach, real oil, no sugar chasing behind it. That's metabolic freedom in practice. If this opened your eyes, share it with someone still quietly fighting stubborn belly fat. Thanks so much for watching this whole video. I'll see you again in the very next one.